My name is Fernando. I'm a principal lecturer in School of Engineering. Part of my role is being a program leader for all our undergraduate programs in engineering. The one thing which stayed with me in the 4 days was if the students feel that they own what they are studying, or the sense of ownership in what they are learning, that will enable them to be an active participant in a code learning and code designing process. So that's what I got out of it. That's a summary of what I got out of it. When I was designing my curriculum for this year, we had a new core unit being introduced this year to our electrical and electronics engineers, and the unit is called Electronic Engineering Design. The ISS for the first term came back, and we had issues for this unit. Because it's a new unit, we had loads of resources issue in terms of getting industrial specialist software, and the delivery was done by two new academics, which I think they really learned a lot, and they did an excellent job of what they had. But the student experience wasn't there, and we had a very poor result. And I was saying to myself, when I was thinking about my delivery for next term, because I was going to teach from January onwards, is, well, the unit went through a tough time. There's nothing I can do to make it any worse, but I do know that I can be bold in trying something out. I thought, oh, what about the thing I came up with a summary from Turkey, that if the student feels that they own the unit, they are willing to contribute to the curriculum. So the first lesson I went to, and I said, look, I wanted to do something. I was very honest. I published the ISS results with them, and I told them, right, I'm sorry about this has happened, but let's make the best use of what we have for the next 3 months. So I thought, what about a tool that will help you achieve that? So that's where this peer-to-peer support tool comes in. And what we said was we will do example questions for each of the lecture, understanding this is a level 6 unit pitched at a very high level of industry relevant thing. So we will tackle example for that particular class. But after the example, each of the students take ownership of that example. So example 1.1, for example, will be done by, I don't know, John Smith, and he would go away and he will work with me that whole week to produce that summary solution for that example, and he will send it to me. My job as unit leader is to check his working, and if I'm happy with that and if I think that is good, I will post it into Moodle. So this means that one student, we had a class of 40, we had about 10 lectures during that time, 2-hour lectures, and we had many examples. Each one took turn to do one example. So for students' point of view, they did one, but the benefit is they get 40 examples already done for them, and that's fantastic for their assessment, because at that time I had 40 students, and it's the first time the unit was run. I had only 2 students who came to see me for help towards the exam assessment, because they know the resources already there, so that's what peer-to-peer support is. The second term, we did a in-class feedback for students. It's an anonymous feedback, but it asks specifically questions on how did you compare the experience between what you had from September to December, from January till Easter time. And I didn't even ask a question of did you find the tool useful, but what was the comments which came from all 30 odd students was when in the column where it says what did you find useful in this unit, few of them says peer-to-peer support is fantastic because now I don't have to worry about my exam preparation, it's all there, and that gives me a lot of confidence that I should continue to do that. But it also increased the ratings they would give if this unit was gone into ISS, and they were scoring at 5, whereas we were dollaring at around 2, just less than 2 just before Christmas. So that's kind of gives me confidence that actually students enjoyed it. But I need to look at data from a few years to say what impact it actually had on it. But the exams has been marked for this unit, and it looks good, and it will be interesting to see how that translated into metrics, which the university will be interested in to know.